The Love I Meant to Say by Helene Quinola. Scene 1. Linus is at his workstation on stage right. There's an empty workstation, stage left. There's a podium with a light which represents the voice. Upstage, there's a platform with a set of stairs leading to a balcony.
This is an announcement from the collective. Are you overly tired or experiencing increased sensitivity? Maybe you have difficulty concentrating or shakiness. You may have signs of DOE or displays of emotion. Please see your doctor if you have any signs or symptoms. Also, please report any suspicious activity to Health and Safety. They are here to help. With your help, we can contain this pandemic. And remember, a cure is just around the corner.
System on.
Welcome, Linus. Here's your workload for today. You are assigned to write a compilation of articles about the Great War of 23-25. You will be meeting with an illustrator to go over the project.
Astrid enters.
Good morning. I'm Astrid, and I'm the new illustrator. I'll be creating the pictures to the historical pieces you write. I'm sure it'll be a pleasure working with you.
I'm Linus, and we'll make a good partnership. I'd like to give you a rundown if that's all right with you.
That's fine. You may proceed.
I've just been assigned articles on the Great War. You can include any pictures as you see fit. Your workstation is over there, and there's a balcony upstairs with a great view of the stars at night. Normally, at the end of the day, we go over our progress and create a plan for the following day.
Thank you. Now, which one should we start on first?
I'd like to start on this one about the soldiers of the Great War of 23-25. I was thinking for the illustration, we could include a warm color palette to emulate the emotions during the war.
Emotions?
I'm sorry. What I meant to say was the warm color palette would help show the conditions, that's all.
I heard in an article before, those soldiers would bond together to help alleviate something called anxiety. Maybe I can include that in the illustration as well.
I think that would be good.
Thank you for showing me around and for being clear in your instructions for the project. If you'll excuse me.
She walks upstairs to the balcony and pulls out a tape recorder. Linus cannot hear what Astrid is saying.
Tape on. Day 1, ID 435824, Linus. He has shown signs of emotion, but not enough to declare.
Astrid, would you like to save your tape? Please confirm to save your tape. Astrid, would you like to save your tape?
Deny. Delete tape.
Scene 2. The same setting in Scene 1.
Working late tonight, Astrid?
Yes, Linus.
This is an announcement from the collective. As a society, we hear a lot about DOE, or displays of emotion. But today, rates are at an all-time high. Here is a more in-depth look at this pandemic. In our society, 44% of people are now dealing with DOE, 18% of those being Tier 4. We still do not know the initial cause of DOE, but we do understand the bug's progression. During Tier 1, you will experience impulsivity, pain, depression, and difficulty concentrating. As the bug progresses, these symptoms will become greater, and you will become overwhelmed by your emotions. In Tier 4, you will no longer function as a productive member of the collective. Your doctor will prescribe you with containment at the peninsula, emotional suppression, and a pain-free death scenario. If you have any questions, please contact or talk to anyone at Health and Safety or your doctor. And remember, a cure is just around the corner.
You were saying something, Astrid?
Yes, I completed the drawings for the article.
Astrid is staring at Linus, but she doesn't hear a word he says.
Astrid, this is exactly what I asked for. The color palette, the soldiers bonding, and everything. This is beautiful. Astrid? Astrid?
I apologize. Can you repeat your notes again, please?
It's fine. As I was saying, this is exactly what I asked for. The warm color palette, the soldiers bonding, and everything.
Linus looks to Astrid again to make sure she's paying attention, but she's still staring at him. When Linus talks to Astrid, he looks down at his monitor and not at her.
Can you please continue with the other articles I sent you? And in the same way, please.
Of course. I can do that. Thank you for your input.
Astrid continues to stare at him as he talks to his workstation.
During the Great War, the remaining continents, Africa, Europe, and South America, fought for what was once known as North America. The three continents had nuked one another, wiping out 90% of mankind. The remaining survivors came together to create the collective here and completely eradicated all human flaws and emotions for the better of mankind. This has to stop. If it continues, I'll be forced to report you.
You have the bug, don't you?
I don't. I'm clean.
I've been taking notes. Every time you talk, you seem to just express how you feel. The way you've been interacting with me since I first arrived, it's as if you see the world differently.
You're one to talk. You just said you're always watching me. Don't think I didn't notice your little flinch when the intercom came on. You looked as though you were affected.
If you were clean, this conversation would not be happening. You would have already reported me. Now is that right?
Linus storms off. After a while, Astrid decides to go up the stairs. Linus is sitting in the opposite direction, not looking her way.
I've had the bug for almost a year now. I didn't say anything to health and safety because I see what they do to those people.
So you're a hider?
I mean, I guess you could say that.
I can't do this. I have to go.
Astrid, please don't.
Linus, you're wrong. You don't know what you're saying.
Please, just let me clarify.
You know this is not allowed. Don't associate your issues with me.
You're one to talk. You probably feel the same way, don't you? Astrid! Astrid! You're doing that thing again when you know you're wrong. You go all quiet until someone calls you out.
If I sit with you while you tell me your story, will you forget this conversation ever happened?
Only if you don't report me after we're done.
Only if you keep your promise.
They both sit down, but they maintain a distance.
That day you were staring at me. That was the only thing I could focus on. You don't understand how much I wanted to say something, but I couldn't. It's so hard trying to repress how I feel when it's clearly mutual. Do you see what they do to the people who get reported? Let alone if anyone were to hear me right now. I didn't say anything because I know what they'll do to me.
I don't think it's fair what they do to those with DOE. Linus, you don't know what you're saying. You're making things up.
Please, just tell me you feel some type of connection.
I can't. This is wrong.
Astrid, I know your feelings are mutual.
What feelings? Nothing is mutual.
Why are you being so defensive?
I work for them.
Them? As in you work for health and safety? You're one of the workers eliminating threats in the collective? So, is this all just a test? Are you just messing with me? Is this not real?
No. My feelings are real. I'm not messing with you.
Is this why you didn't just walk away earlier and report me?
I couldn't do that to you.
Why not? I thought it was your job.
I just didn't want them to take you away.
So the feelings are mutual. What are we supposed to do?
Can we stay here a little longer?
Of course. Anything for you.
Scene 3. The same.
Come on, I want to show you something.
Shh! Be quiet, they're going to hear us.
This is an update from the collective. There have been reports of couples roaming around. Remember, individuals are a threat to society, let alone when they are coupled together. Please continue to report anyone who is seen with signs of DOE.
Linus goes up the stairs first and sets up a little picnic. Astrid waits a little, then goes up the stairs.
Very fancy.
Sit down, you're gonna miss it.
Miss what?
Look up.
Wow. Those stars are...
Beautiful, right? Just like you.
I could never imagine what love feels like before. It's strange. Everything just seems to fall into place. The feelings of lightness and tranquility. Everything just seems to fade away when I'm with you. Why are you looking at me like that?
Like what?
You just have this look in your eyes. See, like right now. You should see how you look. Linus?
I'm just so glad that I have you. Look, a shooting star. Hurry, make a wish. You want to know what I wish for?
No! Don't you know that if you tell someone what you wish, it won't come true?
Wait, really? You know, that actually makes a lot of sense. I wanted to ask you something. If something was worth fighting for, would you fight for it?
Absolutely. If you're talking about us, I'd be willing to fight.
You promise?
I do.
I do too.
ID 970364, Astrid, please report to the peninsula. Again, ID 970364, Astrid, please report to the peninsula.
Is everything all right?
Don't worry. It's just an update on my case for you. I won't say anything, I promise. I'll be back. Don't get in any trouble.
Here, take this. It's my good luck charm. Take good care of it. And I'll see you later.
Linus, I can't.
Just trust me. Now I'll always be with you.
Scene 4. The peninsula. A door splits stage right and stage left. On stage left is the waiting room. On stage right, there is a desk and a single chair. Astrid enters the waiting room.
Welcome to the peninsula. Please state your name, position, and ID tag.
Astrid, Health and Safety, ID 970364.
Access accepted. Please state your reason for coming here.
I had received a summons.
Please proceed to the room ahead.
Astrid enters the Voice's office. The Voice is now a person.
Welcome, Astrid. Would you please take a seat? Do you have your report for ID 435824, Linus? Astrid, are you sure this is it? It's fairly empty compared to what you normally bring me.
Yes, that's all. Linus just didn't have anything to write down.
And why is that?
Because he doesn't have it.
Astrid, why are you being so defensive?
You're just questioning my abilities. I know what I'm doing. Let me do my job.
Well, maybe I should just bring him in here myself.
That's not necessary.
Why not? It seems as if he's right in the room next door.
What?
Astrid. Now tell me, what is going on?
I can't.
Why can you not?
I love him, okay? I can't handle myself around him. And yes, I've devoted my life to catching these people, but I'm one of them. Linus isn't like any of the others. He's something more than that.
I hope you know we have a cure now.
What?
The Ashby cure has finally finished its testing stages.
What do you mean?
You and Linus will be the first to receive the cure.
This doesn't make any sense.
Now, Astrid, you are one of our best workers, which is why I'm letting you off this time. Everything in this room shall remain confidential, and you are not allowed to let any words go outside of these walls. You will remain here at the peninsula, and within the next hour you will receive the cure. You may proceed to the waiting room, and if you dare run, you will be put on death row.
Astrid walks back to the other room and sees Linus sitting outside. They make sure no one else is there before they reunite with one another.
What are you doing here?
Astrid, I turned myself in.
Why would you do that?
Thought they took you away, so I came here.
Linus, you didn't have to do that for me.
I just didn't want to think about a world without you.
I'm still here.
But what about in an hour? They know about us. We're obligated to get the cure. We won't be able to feel this feeling anymore. We're just going to remember the people we once were.
You have to promise me you'll remember. Linus?
Yes, Astrid.
Are you sure that you love me?
Astrid, that's the one thing I've ever been 100% sure of. I remember the day you came in and introduced yourself. My first thought was how beautiful your name was. Then I realized how beautiful you were. We exchanged looks with one another, and I couldn't contain myself. The way you would look at me made me so susceptible to falling for you. You're my first love, and that's never going to change.
I never told you, but a part of my assignment was to document how you would interact with me every day. That first day, I couldn't take a memo because I didn't want you to get caught. When you looked at me, everything else didn't matter anymore. Everything would just go quiet, and I focused on you and heard your voice. I just don't want to forget about us.
But you won't. The cure will just remove the way we feel. I will always remember you and the memories we've made. I said it before, and I'll say it again. You're my first love, and I will always love you.
ID 435824, Linus. Please proceed to the room ahead. Your cure is ready.
Linus.
Astrid, I have to. I'll be outside waiting for you. I'm going to go now. I'm going to go. I'm not looking back.
He turns around before he gets to the door and runs back to give her a kiss.
I'll always be fighting for us.
Welcome, Linus. If you'll please take a seat here, this will be a quick process. I will give you a small shot, and within a few moments, the cure will take effect. Arm out, please.
She injects Linus with the syringe quickly.
There. That should be it. You remember how good we were about eliminating the common cold and the flu? Well, with this, We are one step closer to eliminating DOE.
Linus stands up and then exits the room.
ID 970364, Astrid, please proceed to the room ahead. Your cure is ready.
When Linus and Astrid pass one another, their hands barely touch. Linus is still very worried about Astrid since the cure has not worked yet. Linus slowly starts to become less and less worried as the cure starts to act.
Welcome back, Astrid. Please, take a seat. This should be a quick process. I'm going to give you a small shot, and within a few moments the cure should take effect. Arm out, please.
She injects Astrid with the syringe quickly.
There. That should be it. Astrid, you are one of our best workers. I hope that Linus has not prevented you from doing a good job. Please notify us if you sense any adverse effects to the cure, or if the cure does take effect. Either way, time will tell.
Astrid exits and walks back to the waiting room. She sees Linus sitting on the bench and goes to sit next to him, creating space.
Linus? Linus! You have to fight. Please, Linus! I love you. You said you'd fight for us no matter what, that you'll always remember me. Linus! Do you still love me?
I remember I love you, but I don't feel it anymore.
Linus! Linus! Please don't leave!
Linus stands up and exits. Astrid is left alone.